Good afternoon. This is ASO Television News. I am Richard Alechinwanyebe. The headlines. President Tinubu assures rescue of Oyo kidnapped victims, condemns killing of teacher. Senate President Akpabio emerges as APC consensus candidate for Akwa Ibom Northwest. FCTA raises alarm over use of beggars as drug couriers in Abuja. PEBEC pushes digital integration among MDAs. The news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has assured that all victims abducted during the attack on schools in Oyo State will be rescued, while condemning the reported killing of one of the kidnapped teachers. This was contained in a statement issued on Monday by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy Bayo Ononuga. Bandits invaded the Siele community in Oririe local government area of Oyo State last Friday, abducting staff, students, and pupils of Community Grammar School, Baptist Nursery and Primary School, and LA Primary School. According to the statement, security operatives are working round the clock to ensure the rescue of the victims and apprehend the bandits and their collaborators within the community. President Tinubu described the reported killing of one of the abducted teachers as barbaric and sympathized with Governor Seyi Makinde, the government and people of Oyo State over the incident. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, says the federal government has approved the development of additional deep sea ports across the country as part of efforts to strengthen Nigeria's maritime infrastructure and supply chain capacity. He made this known on Monday while declaring open the mid-year session of Board of Directors of the Port Management Association of West Africa and Central Africa in Lagos. The event, with the theme Ports of the Future, combining logistical resilience with inclusive community development, brought together maritime stakeholders and industry leaders from across the West and Central African sub-region. Speaking at the event, Oyetola said the new deep sea ports would complement existing infrastructure, improve operational efficiency, and reinforce Nigeria's position in regional trade and logistics. He added that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also upgrading existing seaports through infrastructure modernization, digital transformation, and channel deepening projects to accommodate larger vessels. According to the minister, coordinated reforms and stronger collaboration among government agencies have helped to reduce logistics bottlenecks at major ports. He described the National Single Window Initiative as a key reform expected to streamline cargo clearance through digital integration of ports operations and government agencies. On maritime security, Oyetola said the implementation of the Deep Blues project has eliminated piracy in Nigerian waters and significantly reduced maritime crimes across the Gulf of Guinea. Earlier, the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Abubakar Dansuhu, who also serves as president of PMAWCA, said more than $27 billion worth of ports projects are ongoing or recently announced across West Africa and Central Africa. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has emerged as the All Progressives Congress APC consensus candidate for the Akwa Ibom West Senatorial District ahead of the 2027 general elections. Akpabio emerged unopposed during the party's senatorial primary election held at Methodist School, Ukana West, 2 Ward in Asian Udim local government area of Akwa Ibom State. Party faithful and supporters turned out in large numbers for the exercise, which featured the Senate President as the sole aspirant for the senatorial ticket. Despite emerging unchallenged, Akpabio participated in the primary election alongside party members, describing the exercise as a demonstration of unity and support for the APC across the district. Speaking after the exercise, the Senate President expressed appreciation to party members and constituents for what he described as their continued confidence in his leadership and representation at the National Assembly. Party stakeholders also commended the conduct of the primary, describing the process as a peaceful, orderly, and transparent. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has declared that his administration will not surrender to terror following the abduction of students and teachers in the Oririe local government area of the state. Makinde, who spoke to journalists in Ibadan on Monday, maintained that the state would not bow to intimidation. He said the state government remained committed to exploring every lawful means to secure the release of abducted students and teachers. The governor spoke after a high-level security review meeting with service commanders and security advisors over Friday's attack at Ahoro, a Sinle community in Orinre local government area of the state. He described the situation as fluid and difficult, noting that security agencies were conducting coordinated operations to rescue the victims. The governor urged residents to support security efforts by providing timely and credible information. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has raised fresh security concerns over the alleged use of beggars and destitute persons by criminal syndicates to transport illicit drugs and support criminal activities within Abuja. The revelation comes as the FCTA intensifies its ongoing operation sweep aimed at removing street beggars, scavengers, and other vulnerable persons from the nation's capital. Osman Katun Umar reports.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration says criminal elements are increasingly exploiting vulnerable persons, including beggars and the physically challenged, to aid illicit activities across Abuja. Secretary of the FCT Security Department's Command and Control Center, Dr. Peter Olumuji, disclosed this during the ongoing enforcement exercise tagged Operation Sweep. According to him, intelligence reports indicate that some criminal syndicates use street beggars as couriers for illicit drugs, especially during nighttime operations when they are less likely to attract suspicion.
Most of these people you see that we are removing from the streets of the FCT are considered as vulnerable people in the society. But the sad thing is that as vulnerable as they have become, they have also become a useful tool in the hands of the criminal element.
Dr. Olumuji says some of the vulnerable persons are also being used by criminal gangs as informants within the city. Dr. Olumuji further revealed that enforcement officials have, in some cases, faced resistance from suspects during operations, with some allegedly attacking operatives using walking canes and other mobility aids. Head of Enforcement at the FCTA Social Development Secretariat, Mrs. Ukachi Adebayo, disclosed that 54 persons made up of 45 adults and 9 children were evacuated during Monday's operation.
Our mandate is just to make sure that the street is sanitized. And with them around, there is no way. They cause a lot of nuisance, and even the public, they usually come to complain to us in the offices. And it's not what we can just sit down and just be looking at and overlook it.
The FCT administration says those evacuated are being profiled and taken to the rehabilitation centers for welfare assistance and vocational training. Part of the component of Operation Sweep, which has just been relaunched, is to rid the Federal Capital Territory of destitutes and street beggars. And this morning's exercise has taken us to parts of the nation's capital, particularly the Maitama axis, and it has just rounded up here in AYA. Of course, there are a lot of people who have asked questions about the modus operandi of clearing these people. But it is important to note that the Federal Capital Territory has a ban against street begging within the nation's capital. This operation, as we have been told, will continue. From AYA, Abuja, Usman Katun Umar for ASO Television News.
Senator Philip Aduda has emerged as the flag bearer of the APC for the FCT senatorial seat ahead of the 2027 general elections. Senator Aduda's emergence followed his adoption by members of the party as the only aspirant who contested the party's primary election. Our correspondent, Abdullah Mukhtar, reports.
Declaring the result of the primary election, the chairman of the Electoral Committee and returning officer for the FCT senatorial primary election, Dr. Gogan Banks, said Senator Philip Tanimu Aduda was returned unopposed following the withdrawal of the only other cleared aspirant, Dr. Amina Ibrahim Zanna. He explained that the decision was affirmed by party members drawn from the 62 wards and 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory.
Having been elected through affirmation, I hereby declare Senator Philip Tanimu Aduda the candidate for 2027 senatorial election for Abuja Senatorial District under the platform of All Progressive Congress, APC.
Speaking after his declaration, the APC senatorial candidate for the FCT, Senator Philip Tanimu Aduda, said he was overwhelmed by the development and assured party members that he will not betray the confidence reposed in him. He expressed optimism that the APC will win all National Assembly elections in the FCT and also deliver President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 general elections.
So we'll all put our hands on deck to ensure success for the APC and the FCT and to deliver the president and our own dear president, Bola Ahmed, as what federal.
Dr. Amina Ibrahim Zanna also spoke on the reason behind her withdrawal from the race, while the FCT-APC chairman Alhaji Tanko Yamao commended party members for ensuring the successful conduct of the senatorial primary election, which marked the end of the APC primaries in the FCT.
And our consensus candidate, Senator Philip Aduda, to step down for him, since we are family, in the interest of the party. There's no regret, no going back, and I'm ready to work with him to ensure that our party succeeds in the general election.
Tell them to retrieve all the register. You are bringing back 10 registers from each of the area council and Abuja Municipal. You are bringing back 12 registers to the committee. So we thank you very much.
There were goodwill messages from the representative of the national chairman of the APC and Mr. Christopher Zakame Kalangu, chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council, who spoke on behalf of council chairman. Also speaking at the Coalition Center were the APC flag bearers for Abuja South and Abuja North federal constituencies, Mr. Dalladi Chia and Mr. John Gaba.